All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Atlanta. Good morning, Southeast, East Coast. Good morning, world. Thank you all for being here at your daily huddle, where every day we create conversations to shape the rest of your day. There's this aspect that we all are committed to, and which is to create the future we want, to impact the future that we want to create. And yet, we all have this particular challenge, and the challenge is that we never wake up into the future. We just wake up today. We only have the present for the opportunity to impact the future. So at the Daily Huddle, we like to say, and we've been saying for a long time, the way you start your day gives you the rest of the day. And the way that you live each day gives you the rest of your life. So I hope, and my hope is that you're having a phenomenal morning, or another way of saying that, or a better way of saying that, is that you are creating for yourself a phenomenal morning. It's about allowing yourself to create a phenomenal morning. So I'm excited to be here. My amazing mentor, business partner, and friend, Sorel Katan, is at some amazing, incredible leadership summit in Minnesota, I think is where he's at. So today you have me, and we have this amazing conversation. And I am really thrilled to have this conversation with you, given the uncertainties of the times that we're currently living in after finishing the election and having a really interesting, and I know some people don't want to use the word interesting, but for me, a really interesting transition of power and parties in the U.S. For those of you who are in the U.S., and there is a lot of conversations going on around leadership and what should be and shouldn't be. And one of the things that most business owners are really, they really know, they're really certain, is that business owners don't look for political leadership as mentors for business leadership, right? That's one of the things that we know for sure. Business owners don't look at the headlines, don't look at the news, or don't look at any of the people they vote for, regardless, for their mentorship when it comes to leading their teams in their business. Given that there's a massive difference. There's a massive difference. We can't lead our businesses the way we certainly see that nations are being led, right? It will be unworkable. We wouldn't be able to make money. We wouldn't be able to create profits. We wouldn't be able to do the things that we need to do in a business environment. So business owners have to create their own philosophies, or they have to connect to business philosophies that can withstand the test of time, right? And one of my favorite mentors, I have the chance to study under his leadership for a while, and also someone I'm very fond of studying his work, is John Maxwell. And he does a really incredible work at being able to take on this big word called leadership and be able for you to use it in your own life. And when you start growing a team, then you can use it for your team. And it's critical that you allow yourself to create a team. This is one of the things that I've learned over the years. If you want to make six figures in life, then you got to master the art of leading yourself, right? And providing value to others, of course, but you got to lead yourself in a particular way to be able to create six figures for yourself. But if you want to get to seven figures, you have to master the art of leading others. You can't do it by yourself. You need a team, right? So today we're going to talk about the 3 principles that will last regardless of any uncertainty in leadership. So I am excited about that conversation today. I hope you're excited about it. And we have tested these principles at the United Nations, when we have had the chance to work with countries and very departments of countries and large organizations with 5,000 employees, 2,000 employees, 20,000 employees, and also with small business owners who are just starting and they're just by themselves and they're starting to look at creating a team of one or two. These principles are timeless, and they are the foundation for you to create a performing team, a high performing team, right? So the first thing I want to say before I get into the principles is that there is a massive difference between the way you lead yourself and the way you lead others. Yeah? There's difference. It's a massive difference. And it's critical to start seeing the distinction, seeing the difference. The way that you lead yourself, the way that you have led yourself to create results in your life, how you lead yourself to create results in your life, is not the same strategy to lead others to create results. It's very different. And today we're going to talk about those three principles that allow you to start creating and influencing other people and align other people to create a particular result. Yeah? So we're not going to focus on you today only. We're going to be focusing on how to influence others with these three principles, regardless of who is in power. Principle number one. Ready? Principle number one. Stan, are you ready?
Yes, I am, Gio.
Awesome. Principle number one. People follow people before they follow a vision. People follow people before they follow a vision. This is a critical principle, given that when you are creating a team or when you want to grow your company or you're creating a team inside of your company, one of the things that a lot of people struggle with, or people in leadership positions struggle with, is that we want people to be a particular way that we don't show for ourselves. We don't lead ourselves in those principles, if you will. We don't lead ourselves. We don't show an example. Let me say it differently. We don't show an example of the way we want other people to behave. We want other people to behave, to create certain structures for themselves. What do I mean by that? If in the environment you work in, it is important to show up early. Say you work inside of an environment of an 8 to 5 environment or a 9 to 6 environment. If you work inside of that environment, a traditional environment, and I want people to be on time, people follow people before they follow a vision. It's very difficult to create an environment where people show up on time if you don't show up on time. Does that make sense? People follow people before they follow your vision for that environment. I've got to lead people in some way where people can model how I am being, how I am acting, the structures that I'm honoring. You've got to lead people with you've got to be conscious that people are modeling you for the opportunity of the work that you want to do. People follow people before they follow a vision. This is very easy to see at home when you're leading your children. A lot of parents tell their children, do as I say, not as I act. Do what I say, don't do what I do, right? But that's not how the brain works. Your children are going to model you. The very things that you're annoyed about your children, for the most part, are things that they are modeling from you. So, for example, you don't like the way your children are cursing, for example, like they shouldn't curse that way. Well, it's likely that they are getting that from you. in certain environments. At the barbecue, certainly they're getting it from the movies that you allow yourself to see with your children. They're modeling what you find normal. They're modeling what you find acceptable. Maybe you're on the phone and you say you act a particular way when you're talking to somebody when you're upset, and then your children model that. Does that make sense? And then so you've got to take some conscious accountability, right? Inside of this principle. People follow people before they follow a vision. So when you have a work environment and people are not aligned and in a particular structure, right? They're not quite effective in their meetings, or they're not speaking in a particular way. You want to see for yourself, well, what are they modeling from me? What are they modeling from me? You know, one of the things that as a coach and in a business environment, one of the things that I encounter often is that I tell people often say to me, you know, when I talk to my team, I tell them what to do. I tell this specific person what to do, and then they do something else. And it's really annoying. You know, I tell them exactly what to do, and then they do something else. And then I ask them, okay, got it. So one of the principles for effective communication, John, whoever that is, right, is that you listen to make sure you take your time to listen to what they heard from you. You got to listen to what they heard from you. And then they say, oh, but I don't have time for that. Right? So I got to coach them so that they can have time for that. However, when they see their work environment, when they see their teams, they notice that people don't have time for anything. Everybody creates this environment of I don't have time. Does that make sense? Yeah? So they're modeling the leader. The leader doesn't have time, nobody has time. And so this is a team, this is an organization where everybody's running around without time. People follow people before they follow a vision. So the big aspect of this principle is to ask yourself in a way in which you're not belittling yourself, you're not punishing yourself, but you're really asking yourself, what are people modeling from me? And then it gives you access to see why the environment around you looks like the way that it is. It gives you some access. And also it allows you to have power over it rather than you are a victim of the environment you're in. Yeah? Okay, awesome. That's the first principle. Powerful principle, right? I'm going to give you the second principle that will last the test of time, regardless of who's leading the country. Second principle, important principle. People support what they create. People support what they create. That's the second principle that will last the test of time. Regardless of the organization you're in, and regardless of the house that you're in and the environment you want to create at home. All these principles that I'm sharing with you, you want to test them at your house first. My mentor used to tell me, if you really want to see your leadership, take a look at your environment at home. How are people at home? Right? What is the emotions of your house? What is your emotional home? You know, how are things at home reveal your leadership? How people at home deal with conflict reveals your leadership. If the people at home are screaming at the top of their lung because the garbage is not out on Tuesdays and they're making each other wrong and accusing and blaming each other for the waffles being outside of the refrigerator, It's a reflection of my leadership, right? Okay. So people support what they create. That is leadership principle number 2. What does that mean? It means that you've got to develop a new skill in the way that you communicate so that when you are creating something, you involve people in the creation of that so that they feel like they are creating it with you. If you want to take on a particular project, if you have a certain future you want to create, if you have a certain goal for your company or for your department, you can't just delegate it for people. You can't just say, here's where we're going to go. And this is the mountain we're going to climb. And so let's go. Not really. That won't work. What you find at work is that people will resist it. People would say things like, well, I don't have time for that. I was already doing this other thing over here. You had me doing this thing over there. So then now that's in conflict. And then you start seeing around you massive resistance from people. Yeah, why is it that people are going to resist you? People are not going to resist you because you're a bad person, or you're a bad leader, or you don't care about them. No, people resist what they don't create for themselves. You can challenge people to go to the moon if you allow them to think that they are creating that goal with them. Does that make sense? You want to ask yourself, how do I engage other people in the vision? How do I engage other people creating the vision of where we're going? People support what they create. It's very, very important. So you can use this at home, right? I'm going to use an example of the house. So you're going on vacation and you say, all right, everybody, we're going to Mexico. Woo! But now your children are not 5 and they're not 6 and they're not 7 years old. You can't just tell them where we're going because they'll say, well, why Mexico? I don't want to go to Mexico. We always go there to Mexico or whatever you're going to go. Let's go to Florida. We'll go to California. Let's go to New York. Let's go. You'll get resistance. Or you can say, all right, team. All right, family. Here's the goal. The goal is an amazing vacation. The goal is that wherever we go, we're going to have an awesome time. And it truly helps if there's a beach and margaritas and sombreros. You know, you can sort of start guiding the conversation in that direction. And then they say, okay, the goal is to have a massive vacation. Where should we go? And then they start creating the possibility of the vacation with you. Well, here are the options. We have this, and then we have this, and then we have that. And then you can influence it. You might think to yourself, well, I don't have time for that. I'm the leader. I'm putting the money anyway. They should go wherever I want. And then all of a sudden you find 3 people, 4 people, 5 people really resisting and having to just be with what you say. And then you get to Mexico and everybody's upset and giving you long faces. And now you're really upset because now you're spending all this money on making sure that people are happy. Be happy, damn it. Smile. Did you see of the sacrifices I've made so that we can go on vacation? Nothing wrong with that. You did make the sacrifices. You did put up the resources. You do love your family. You just missed one important principle in leadership. People support what they create. Same thing in business. Same thing in business. Okay, here's our goal. Here's what we got to do. Here's where we're pivoting. Here's our new target audience. Here's the project. How do you guys see this going? What do you guys think we should do? Here's what my thoughts are. Here's what my experience tells me. But I want to hear what you guys think. I really want to hear what are your thoughts on the opportunity of this direction. Here's the why. And then they start seeing for themselves, okay, I think we can create the direction in this direction. We can go in this direction. Now you have a chance of maximizing the talent of the people you work with, but truly maximizing it. People eventually become the way you see them. People eventually become the way you see them. And if you see people big, you want their opinion. If you see people big, you want their ideas. Doesn't mean you'll take them, but you really want them. If you see people big, you're going to question your own ideas against theirs. If you see them big, people eventually become the way you see them. It's a powerful principle for creating high-performing teams. And this doesn't matter who's in office, right? Okay, awesome. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to tell you the third principle so I don't miss the opportunity. Third principle, critical principle, unifies the whole thing. There's a lot of work around this principle. I'm not going to tell you something new. What's important is not that you hear something new. What's important is that you really take on applying it on a daily basis. Third principle is lead with the why in front. Sorry. Lead with the why in front on a regular basis. Lead, if you're a business owner, lead with the mission in front on a regular basis. You know, there's a lot of work, biographical work around Steve Jobs. And one of the things that many people, many writers and commentators say about Steve Jobs in many different avenues is that he was a jerk. He wasn't a great leader because he was a jerk. Neither he's a great leader if he was soft. He was a great leader because he led with the why everywhere he went. Could he had better, communication skills, effective communication skills? Would that had impact his personal life and his relationship with his employees? Certainly. But he was able to enroll an entire company on the why. He led with the why constantly. When you lead with the why, you inspire and you awaken purpose in people. People are willing to do a lot more for a mission, for a crusade, than for a paycheck. You can't lead with a paycheck. You can't, as a leader, say, well, I pay you this amount of money, get it together and elevate your standards. Money doesn't elevate standards. Clearly. Can you see it? Why? A powerful why elevates the standards of the people around you. When you see the people around you as the missionaries, as crusaders of what you're up to, you share the why. And when you share that why, enough times it becomes theirs. And now they'll lead you. And now they'll elevate your standards. And they'll make you bigger, stronger. They'll help you get out of your own way because now they're leading your team. They're leading the organization because now their why is theirs. And that's a powerful leader. That's a powerful person. So here are the three principles. I'm going to review them with you. Powerful principles. They will stand this test of time. I'm telling you, it will make a guy like myself who once sold newspapers at streetlights lead to organizations around the world. First one, people follow people before they follow a vision. People follow people before they follow a vision. Second one, people support what they create. People support what they create. Third one, lead with the why in front every day. Lead with the why in front every day. Awesome. So that's your daily huddle today. I took a little longer than I wanted to. I got a little passionate. Please forgive my passion. I got to be responsible for my passion. Any comments, questions, yeah, buts? I'd love to hear some of your comments, questions, yeah, buts before we end our day. Stan, what are your thoughts? I want to hear what you think, Stan.
No, I'm just enjoying what you're saying, man, and trying to really, just grasp these principles in my mind because you can clearly see the logic in them. Clearly, people, they follow people before they follow a vision. So they're going to follow an example before they follow some principle, some nebulous mental concept. They're going to follow what they can see and feel, and that's you, right?
Yes.
And people support what they create. Well, when they don't feel like they're a part of the creation of a thing, they don't feel like there's much reason to support that thing. Hey, I'm not a part of it anyway. That's the way they feel. So I get that. I see the logic in that. So that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Stan. Thank you for being here, man. You elevate my standards every day. I appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the family.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yes. Anybody else? Any other
Hi,
comment?
Ingrid here. I have to say, I totally agree with all three of your principles. And basically, that's how I do my coaching because people support what they create, right? I won't tell a client, go and do this. I'll ask them, what can you do? Because you're now creating. And it's just like you said, it has to be a place for the beach, it has to have tequila, whatever. You put the criteria in there, but let it come from them, so you help them to create their why and know their why, or create the process, the goals, the visions, and then help them to bring it forward and support them in doing that. So yes, that's practically, it reminds me of my coaching methods. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Yes, Coach Ingrid, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all. So remember, every day, Monday to Friday, Harumi wants to say something. Go ahead, Harumi, before we close the day. Oh, you're saying goodbye.
No, yes, one thing. So because I had to take the phone call, so I skipped. So did I miss after 3? I love the why, because we need to really know why, right? Why they do, why we do. Yeah, do we have the 4th, or this is the 3 critical points?
Today we only talk about the 3.
Oh, okay.
Today we only talk about the 3. And I'm going to send you, I'm going to put it in the chat now, and I'll put it on YouTube as well. I'm going to send you an email with the 6 principles that we use so that you guys can hear it, play around with them, and test them at your work environment and at home.
Nice.
I'm going to do that now. And today we only talked about 3.
Yes. Thank
Today
you.
we only talked about 3. Thank you, Harumi. So let me put it in the chat.
Did you put in a chat? Are you going to put right now? Or
I'm going to put it in the chat. Maybe Liz can help me. Liz, can you help me put it in the chat?
Because I just joined, so rejoined. I don't see the previous chat anymore.
Here it is. Here's in the chat. 3 principles. 3 principles for leadership. Okay, I just put it in the chat.
I
So you
see.
guys can go ahead and download them, play with them, use them at work.
Yes.
So thank you all for being here. I shall leave you now, but I cannot leave you without our 9 tenets to living a renegade life. I want you to live a renegade life. First one is love. Love always. Love those you have an opinion about. Love those who think differently from you. Love those who have hurt you in the past. Love. Second one is stress less. There's only one life. Might as well take it easy, stress less. Third one, laugh out loud. Stress your chicks. It helps you with the wrinkles. I'm telling you, it makes you confident. It makes you sexy. Stretch your chicks when you're laughing. Sleep more. It's critical to sleep more for creativity, for wisdom, for energy. Sleeping is your access to the eternal, to having a great life. Sleep more. Eat more plant-based. Get closer to the trees, hug the trees, eat the trees, and avoid at all costs processed food. At all costs, right? At all costs, avoid processed food. Move every day. You gotta move every single day. Right after you wake up in the morning, put on those tennis shoes and walk for a 10-minute walk. Right after lunch, put on those shoes and go for another 10-minute walk. Every single day, find a way to move. Give every month. Give a little bit, give all of it, give half of it, but certainly give your jealousy away, give your resentment away, give all the things you're holding on to, give your fears away. Just give them away. And finally, critically, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check your assumptions. Check what you think. Double check what you think. It may not be true. Mark Twain says, and I love this quote, he says, what gets you into trouble is not what you know. What gets you into trouble is not what you don't know. What gets you into trouble is what you know for sure that just ain't so. Thank you all for being here. I love you. I'll see you Monday.
Peace, Gio.
Bye-bye.
Peace. Peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Peace, peace. Love you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.